Dear woman, stop waiting for permission. Go out there and do it. No one knows what they're doing anyways, so you might as well just go ahead and do that thing that you've always wanted to do.
You're watching the Career Series powered by MTN. I'm your host, Talula Doherty Aditono. And today our guest is the founder of a premium women's wear brand aimed at modern professionals, Lady Biba. Her name is Bisola Adeniyi. Bisola, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You look beautiful and radiant today.
Thank you.
I love it. You're personifying your brand.
Thank you.
Lovely. So let's talk about being, a woman in fashion, an entrepreneur in fashion. There's so many people out there who love clothes and who would love to get into the fashion industry, but there's a sense that it's a bit saturated. We go online, we go on Instagram, and we see so many of these brands. But you, with Lady Biba, have been able to really differentiate yourself. And I feel you've been able to almost occupy a certain space in the market, which is, the workwear space, not just workwear, but clothes that make modern professional women feel confident, feel bold, and stand out. So how have you been able to do that?
First of all, thank you for having me on your show. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
So with Lady Biba, I always call myself an accidental workwear designer, because when I started out, it was never to be the workwear brand. I was designing dresses that I loved and I felt like would look great on women. But it just turned out that at that time, there weren't a lot of brands that were offering workwear that was stylish and that would make people stand out. A lot of the offerings in the market were more boring and simple. So I found that people started to request more of that particular category. So It sort of just made me pivot to that area. So it was more of something that happened based on what I was already doing. So it wasn't really planned out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just something that happened as I was on my design journey.
Okay, I love that. But then I think subsequently, you've gone on to own the category, and a lot of copycats have sprung up where I've seen brands doing very similar designs to yours. So how have you been able to, because obviously when you are I don't want to say the first, when you're an innovator in a category and people see that, oh, this is doing well, there's a tendency for them to want to jump on and to have a piece of that success as well. So how have you been able to still stand out and thrive despite other, similar competitors coming into the market?
Okay, I think first of all, it's very important for everyone to know what their strengths are. And I think you mentioned something in the first question where you said that, how do you know where to stand out? The thing is, you have to do what naturally comes to you. So for me, it wasn't forced. It was something that our customers recognized, and I just basically capitalized on what already worked. So it wasn't me constantly looking out to see what can I do. It was more of, this is already what I do. How can I make what I do better? And I feel like a lot of people would have more success if they were to focus on their strengths as opposed to looking at other people's strengths. Because I feel like there's so much room for improvement. Like when you know your craft, there's always room for improvement. But the problem is people keep looking outside instead of looking within. So you find out that everyone looks the same. The market is not saturated. It's because everyone is trying to do what every other person thinks is working.
Okay.
So it's more like you're seeing different versions of the same thing. But if, say, brand A were to focus on their own strength, I'm sure they would bring something totally different and unique that the market would be like, okay, I haven't seen anything like this. Nothing is really new at the end of the day, but I just feel like everyone has something special. But if you keep looking outside, you're never ever going to get to that point where you find out what is really special about your own brand.
Yeah, no, I love that answer. And I think you're right. Everybody has something unique about them that they can package up and sort of put out there for other people to find value in and also to enjoy. Bisola, you're also the founder of Ricky Entrepreneur, which is a platform that aims to empower startups with the tools, the tips and the tricks they need to succeed. So was Rookie Entrepreneur born out of your experiences with Lady Biba? And if so, how?
Okay, so it was actually started in 2016. So I was like a new business owner, and I started my business. I got the idea for Lady Biba when I was 20 and officially registered my company when I was 21. So I used to get a lot of messages like in my first, second, third year of business, people reaching out to me to say, can I mentor them? And to be honest, I used to have like imposter syndrome, and I used to just feel like, mentor who? Like, I still need mentorship. And I think that was what led me to start Rookie Entrepreneur. Just like the name, I felt like, oh, I'm still figuring things out, but I feel like I have something I could offer. And the very first thing that I did was to create like a structure, your business workshop. It was a 3-day workshop, and I had people like Omoyemi Akerele, who's the founder of Lagos Fashion and Design Week. I had Bayo, Kilawao. So I just had people who were creatives but also had like good business heads, because what I saw, a lot of people wanted to come intern with me and learn how to sew. And I felt like in terms of like the creative industry, I feel like Nigeria is so like we're saturated with creativity, but in terms of like systems and structure and processes, there was like this gap.
Okay.
So that was why I did that in 2016. I did the structure your business workshop, but I found out that a lot of people were so focused on creativity as opposed to business.
Right.
And I sort of paused Rookie Entrepreneur because I knew that it would take a lot from my part, and I'm bringing it back because I've been able to put structure in my own business, and now I'm able to sort of do the two. You'll never have enough time. Like every business will always take the most out of you, and I think that's the point of Rookie Entrepreneur, is that you can have a business and have your own life. You can always like continuously learn and grow. That's the entire like premise for Rookie Entrepreneur. It's, I have this business, but I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I want to help other people as I'm growing as well.
I think that's fantastic, because I see a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to do everything by themselves without the knowledge of how to implement certain systems, and they're getting burnt out. Like burnout is very, very real. So I think by doing what you're doing with Rookie Entrepreneur, using your own business background and experience, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be inspired, and they're going to be sort of helped on the right path with their businesses. So I love that. And I want to come onto the topic of partnerships, because I know that you're working with Gazmadu Studios on the Lady Boss Portraits, which is a series of photography sessions with career women. Is that right?
Yes.
So talk to me about how that partnership came about and why you think partnerships are important in terms of, furthering business growth.
Okay, so I met Gazmadu at the Future Awards. She was winning the award for photography, and I was winning the award for fashion and design. So we just basically like fangirled over each other's brands. I was like, oh, I know your brand, I love your work. And she's like, oh, I know your brand, I love your work. So it was really interesting. And then we met again. Tara Felajurutoye was having this masterclass for structuring your business, and then we met again and we just clicked. And then we noticed that most of the people she would photograph, or like a good number of people she would photograph, were wearing Lady Biba. I noticed as well, and I was like, you know what, we should actually come together and create something, a value-added package where women that want to be photographed in Lady Biba can wear Lady Biba, get your photography at like a discounted rate. So that was the main idea, and it's sort of like evolved because we're like, okay, if we're going to do this thing, it has to be bigger than just taking pictures. It has to be like a purpose to it.
Yes.
And for the past 5 years, we've always had themes. Like the first theme was Own Your Story. The theme this year is Beyond Borders. So there's always like a general message, and I feel like it's always even like a message to us as brand owners. So we're not just inspiring people, we're also meeting inspiring women, sharing their stories, and we as well are being inspired as well. So yeah, it's been a very successful and very rewarding partnership.
I love that, and I love the fact that like you two individually were like super powerful force, but together you're even more united, more powerful. And I think there was, I think it was one time you did a sisterhood theme, and I love that, where, you know, seeing
winning together.
Winning together, thank
Yes.
you. I just called it sisterhood. Where, you know, women from different, you know, fields, professional women, successful women came together, and you could see that they're stronger, more united and more together.
Yeah.
So what tools do you think are important for startups to build their businesses or their brands?
Okay, I think there's so many tools, but I'll just focus on brands that want to be online e-commerce brands. So I'd say first off, you need like a platform where you can shop. In Nigeria, we have Paystack, we have Flutterwave. I believe they have storefronts. But if you want something that's more intensive, something that offers more features, then you're looking at like Shopify. I mean, there are other, like there's WooCommerce and there's other, but I strongly recommend Shopify, because with Shopify you can have access to your analytics, and it's just better for Facebook ads and ads in general. Like Shopify is best, like it's the brand for e-commerce brands.
Okay.
So and then email marketing, I like Klaviyo. Klaviyo is like my number one tool for sending out emails, and there's SMS Bomb. And there's a Nigerian brand that offers email marketing as well. It's called Your Notify.
Okay.
So I haven't used their email features, but I use their text features. So that's good for marketing. Yes, I think those are like my main tools. Yeah.
We're going to be glued to Rookie Entrepreneur to find out more about
my YouTube channel. Yeah.
And your
Can
YouTube.
I plug that?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Okay, so my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Bibi Adeniyi, and it's where I share everything from Rookie Entrepreneur and basically my journey as an entrepreneur.
Fantastic. So I personally will also be going on there, although I have already seen a few of your videos, and I found them very, very helpful and very, very informative. So Bisola, I want to just take the time to thank you for coming on the show and for being so open and sharing your wealth of experience in the fashion space. I think you definitely have made an indelible mark. What you've done isn't easy, and I know that there's a lot of people out there who look up to you, and we also celebrate you here today. So thank you so much.
So much, Talula, for having me. This was a really good chat.
Thank you.